Hey guys, I hope you're having a great Friday and jumping in with today's topic, dealing with tricky relationships at Christmas. And this is my last video for 2019 that I'll be doing as a live video. And so I just wanted to, obviously this can be a pretty tricky thing sometimes in relationships with others. We're catching up with people that perhaps may or may not be our people of choice that we'd like to spend time with, and I say that with absolute love and compassion. Hey Amy, hey Christy, hey Chris, hey Christy, and hey Chrissy. There's a lot of Chris in there. It must be Christmas, pardon the bad joke. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hey Leanne, lovely to have you on. Of course, dealing with tricky relationships can be really difficult, and that can be difficult at any time of the year, but I think it tends to hit home a little bit more at Christmas time as well, particularly when it feels like, and so we can tend to place expectations as well that this is what family should be like, this is what Christmas should feel like, and so we tend to place like a lot of those higher expectations on others or perhaps even ourselves, and that can be that complicates things and can kind of enmesh us or entwine us in everybody else's stuff or how we should show up or how they should show up, and it places a lot of need and expectation. Now that's the number one tricky kind of thing, is the expectation that we place on others. Now this could be from a place of either expecting too much of ourselves when we haven't resolved past issues or haven't worked through those things for ourselves, or placing those judgments, placing those expectations on others. And the way that we truly get to free ourselves from these situations as well. Hey Deanna, lovely to have you on here, and Charles and Jerry, lovely to see you guys on here. So this is definitely one of those things where number one, take time to connect with yourself. Take time to really love yourself. Again, we can't give anybody else what we haven't yet achieved, or not necessarily achieved, but created for ourselves or given ourselves first. And love is one of those things. It's very difficult to either receive love or give love if we're not being loving and kind to ourselves. Now, often in tricky situations or relationships that are quite difficult, it is that there is an element of blaming ourselves or feeling guilty, or blaming others as well, and all of that also gets entwined within this as well. And so we can often feel bad for what we've done or how we've shown up, or maybe not even consciously recognizing that, and be very heavily invested in blaming the other person and not actually taking responsibility for what or how we've actually contributed to the situation. Now, I say that with absolute love as well. It's very difficult. It can be a difficult pill to swallow, and our ego really doesn't like it very much when we actually sit back and go, hang on a second, well, how have I contributed to this? What is the part that I need to take responsibility for in this situation or in this particular relationship? How have I shown up that's contributed to the problem, or what is it that I need to take stock of and shift and change within myself? Now, sometimes that can also be, what is the belief that I've had? If I've been really negative and critical about myself, then naturally, and not so naturally obviously, doesn't feel very natural, however, law of the law of attraction, main law of the universe, guys, you cannot be in a state of criticizing yourself and be able to attract something other than that from others. So this is where self-love and taking that responsibility to that next level is absolutely imperative. Now, when you're armored with, and when I say armor, not putting walls up, not putting shields up, or being a shell or anything else, but when you've filled yourself up with so much self-love, with kindness, with self-compassion, now kind of things don't penetrate so deeply. I know like the times when I am hyper sensitive, or take, when somebody says something, even if they're joking, sometimes it feels like it penetrates me so deeply, and sometimes it's because I haven't actually taken time to fill my own well, to fill my own bucket. Perhaps I've been beating up on myself a little bit, so therefore I'm attracting that. When we take ownership for that, when we take responsibility for that. Hey Bronnie, lovely to have you on here, darling. Hey Linda. Hey Adina, lovely to see you on here. Jan, Jackie. Lovely to have you all on. When we take full responsibility for that within self, so what is making us sticky to this particular situation? What's keeping us attracting this again? And often what we're blaming the other person for is the very thing that we're actually either doing to ourselves or we've done to them. Now, it may not be in relationship with them, but we might have done that to somebody else in the past also. And this is where I love the Byron Katie work, because it will set you free every single time, guys. And when you realize what is the judgment, what is the rule that I'm projecting onto somebody else and expecting them to follow, either unconsciously or consciously, they shouldn't be rude, they shouldn't be awful, they shouldn't speak to me that way, all of those things, when we flip that around, I shouldn't be rude, I shouldn't be mean, I shouldn't speak to others or speak to myself that way. When we get that and go, oh my God, yeah, well, I haven't even been living by my own rules or my own expectations, so it's pretty impossible for somebody else to expect somebody else to do that. Number one, when it hasn't even been communicated, but number two, if we can't live by our own rules, which we're freaking human, right? So give yourselves a rest from the berating and everything else, and understand your emotions are there for a reason, instead of berating yourself or beating yourself up. Now, when we can really take that stock and then we can bring a greater love of self-love and compassion to ourselves, but also to the other person, and stop expecting them to show up differently than how they actually are at the moment. The greatest statement that I just love and I say often to myself is, when I set myself free, when I love me, I'm setting myself free, but I set everybody else free as well. When I love me, I set everyone free. Because when I love me, I'm filling up my bucket. I'm not expecting others to, to do or behave in a way that, and I'm human too. Obviously that plays out. However, when I'm filled up, there's so much less of that shows up, guys, and it is so imperative. So when we're walking into a Christmas situation, or when we're walking into a situation where perhaps we've had a challenging relationship or had a challenging time with somebody, when we can bring, number one, full responsibility. How have I attracted this circumstance? How have I brought this into my life? What am I expecting from them that I'm not even following for myself? What are the judgments or the rules that I'm projecting onto others? But also, what can I learn from this? Or why has this angel showed up in my life? And I use that word very specifically, even quite often I'll say to my clients and say to myself, this is a gift. It's come in ugly wrapping paper. I don't like the way it's been wrapped, but when I unwrap it, when I take time to really explore and understand what is the gift, what is the opportunity that this situation, circumstance, or relationship is providing me with, perhaps it's to learn more understanding, perhaps it's to learn more compassion, perhaps it's to learn greater patience with others, or greater love with others, and unconditional love, because that's what trips us up the most, is when we place conditions on the person. We're expecting somebody else to show up differently. Hey Davo, great to have you on here. Hey Paula, hey Bronnie and Victoria, so lovely to see your face on here, gorgeous, and Rochelle, lovely to see you on here as well. Victoria, I was only thinking of you the other day. I was creating a movie from 2019, a celebration movie, and saw the hot air balloon on there. So I was just thinking of you literally yesterday. So it's so funny. However, back to what I was obviously saying, sorry, digressing, is, when we're stepping into that space of taking full responsibility for how have I attracted this situation? What is the blessing? What is the gift within this? What is it that I need to clean up within myself? Is it that I'm being critical of myself? So do I need to forgive myself? Now, forgiveness is a huge one, guys. And quite often we'll be like, well, I don't really want to forgive them. Forgiveness is not for them. Let go of that. That is not for them. Forgiveness is a gift to give yourself. And I'm on a bit of a rant vent this morning. I can kind of feel it. But it's like forgiveness is when you forgive somebody else, it's so you let go of the anger, so you let go of the resentment. All of that stuff is hurting you first. Karma is instant. It happens in the second that we're feeling whatever we're feeling. Whatever we're projecting to somebody else, whether it be love or whether it be anger or resentment or hurt or betrayal or any of those things, whatever we're projecting onto somebody else, we feel it first. Forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for anybody else. You're not doing it. And this is what ties us up, because we feel resentment at feeling like, well, now I have to forgive them for this thing that they did. No, when you can see, when you unwrap the gift that's been wrapped in ugly wrapping paper, the ugly wrapping paper is a situation or circumstance or event that didn't look very nice. It didn't look very good. When you unwrap that and you take time to understand, why has this shown up in my life? Why is this actually happening? What is it within me that's chosen to create this or have this experience to evolve my soul and to grow and to learn from this experience? Perhaps it's to not let people walk over you. But that doesn't mean that you need to push back. When you clean that energy up within yourself and you focus on what it is that you want to create instead, now you can move forward in that particular area. You cannot continue to look at a situation or a person or a circumstance and look at all the things that you hate, look at all the things that make you angry, and look at all the things that upset you about that situation or that person. You cannot look at that and get anything else other than that. That is the law of attraction that is bringing it to you in every single second, guys. Got to get your mind off it. What could I be grateful for? What could I appreciate? What could I like, love, or appreciate about this person? Or how has this situation helped me to become more of me? Perhaps you're looking for more freedom in your life. Perhaps it is that you're wanting to let go of responsibility. Maybe you feel overly responsible for others. Therefore, now you're pissed at them because they're not behaving in a way that you think that they should, simply because of your rules, your judgments, your beliefs about how they should be living their life. And this is the victim paradigm, which I've spoken about before, but it leaves us in either victim persecutor or fixer rescuer. And it's a terrible, when I say terrible, it doesn't feel very good to be caught in that paradigm. And quite often people can get caught in that. I know it showed up heaps in my life where I'd either be the victim and then become the persecutor, or be the fixer rescuer and then become the persecutor and then become the victim. So anytime we're in that paradigm, it does not feel very good, because we're overgiving, we're overextending, or we're being overly responsible for somebody else's well-being. We're picking up their stuff instead of going, that's your stuff, you've got this, you can totally take care of it, I believe in you, I know you can do this. And that feels much more empowering for the person that was in the victim position as well, because nobody likes to feel disempowered. Nobody likes to feel like a victim or be wallowing in self-pity and all of those things. So that's where that self-love really kicks in, and stepping into creator, what is it that I want instead? And let's focus on that. So think about, if you're walking into a situation at Christmas, how do I want this day to unfold? What is the most important value that I'm going to hold for this day? Perhaps it's love. Maybe it's a lesson in unconditional love. Maybe it's a lesson in staying really focused on what it is that you like, love, and appreciate about a specific person, or about just Christmas. Like, what could I focus on that feels really good for me? What could I focus on that I do want to experience that will feel really great? What would a great Christmas day look like for me? And that's not about other people behaving in a particular way. You can release trying to control others when you become the creator. This is the gift in this, when you no longer become sticky for, oh, I bet they're going to say that to me, or bet, you know, they're going to behave in this particular way, or oh my God, they're so rude, or they're so this, or they never stop talking, or they don't stop talking about themselves, or like whatever it is. When you're focused on that, guys, you're like a magnet for that, and you are just bringing that stuff to you right then and there. So the second, like, the more you can kind of go, well, how do I want to experience my day? Start to get creative with this. Start to think, what would I most love? What would I feel excited about? What would feel joyous to me? And do your best to remain in that emotional mastery position of being the creator of your world and feeling excited or feeling joyous or feeling really happy regardless. Let everybody else off the hook. When you love you, you set everybody else free. And that is the power, that is the gift in all of our relationships, is self-mastery at the end of the day. I truly believe that. It's the soul evolution. What is the gift that has been, that we can unwrap, and we can truly understand and appreciate more about ourselves, and perhaps even more about others. The things that we judge others for the most is the things that we despise in ourselves, we've disowned, or we've made wrong, or we've made bad. I've spoke about this a lot over the year as well. So, hey Helen, lovely to have you on. So I truly hope this has been helpful for you guys. Take some time out for you. I'm gifting myself 3 days of silent retreat, which I'm really, really looking forward to. I'll just be doing a lot of deep meditation, reflecting on my 2019, letting go of everything, acknowledging what I loved, what was brilliant about 2019, and also taking some time to acknowledge perhaps some of the things that I didn't love about 2019, or what I found challenging, or what I found difficult, how I've grown from that, but also what do I want to create instead in 2020. And this type of reflection really helps to set us up for then the next level of soul evolution, or the next level of moving forward in our life for 2020 as well. So it can be a really, really powerful thing. Or we're not only going into a new year, we're going into a new decade, which is like so super fresh energy. So I'd even, if you're wanting to dive into that, like create a bit of a vision for the next 10 years of your life. Like, what do you want to have acknowledged or celebrated come the year 2029, heading into the year 2030? Like, what would that be for you? Quite often we overestimate things that we can do in 12 months, but we totally underestimate what we can actually achieve in 10 years. So have fun, like just dreaming about that, and stepping into that space. Self-love, self-compassion all the way. Don't work too much. Be kind, be gentle on yourself. Sleep, rest, take it easy. And from me to you, I truly, truly wish you an amazing, super merry, super wonderful Christmas, and an abundant and super wonderful, healthy, happy 2020, guys. And so much love and gratitude for you all for tuning in, not only for today, but also for the many times that quite a few of you have jumped in at various times during the year, and either liked, loved, or shared my videos, or just, taken some time out for you to really reflect and to step into that next level of growth, or next level of understanding for yourself as well. And you've been part of my co-creation, and for that I'm truly grateful. I could definitely sit here and not talk to anybody because so much of the stuff that I say, it's reiteration for myself. We teach most, obviously, what we need to know the most for ourselves. So everything I'm sharing, I obviously share for myself first, to really solidify that understanding. But I do feel so blessed and so grateful for those of you that wish to co-create and be on this journey with me in stepping into greater love and greater compassion for self, greater growth, and greater fun and joy and ease and flow in life. There's just so much wonder and beauty and joy when we stop to be really, really present in life. There's so much abundance around us, and true gifts as well. Like when we're living in Australia particularly, I think we are so blessed in so many ways that we often don't take time to acknowledge, and I say that just as much for myself as anybody else. So take time to connect with you. What was really great? What did you love? Set yourself up for success heading into Christmas Day, particularly if you've got those tricky relationships. Find the best, look for what you can like, love, or appreciate about that person. Choose to focus on that, and focus on that only, and bring loads of self-love and compassion for yourself and for others, and choose to take responsibility for the part that you've played in whatever the trickiness is in that relationship, whether that's how you've attracted it, or the beliefs that you've held about that person or that situation. We get to create anew in every single moment, not even each new day. Every single second is a moment to recreate how we'd like to have it moving forward. And I know for myself, when I change, nothing else around me can stay the same. It automatically shifts with me. It doesn't, this is not about trying to control others or control other people's behavior. It will always, always, always leave you feeling out of control, miserable, unhappy, because the only person that we can focus on is who we actually choose to be and how we choose to show up. And I know that the second that I do that, everything shifts and changes for me, because quite often we're pissed at the other person because we're showing up in an angry way, or we're not being ourselves in relationship to that person or situation, but then we blame them for that, as opposed to take personal responsibility. Who am I? How do I choose to show up in a way that makes me feel fulfilled, happy, joyous, proud of myself, self-loving, and compassionate with self? So have an amazing day. Lovely to have you on here, Christine. And Neen, lovely to see you on here, darling. Best wishes for you and all your beautiful family as well. And Marcella, lovely to have you on here too, Sel. And who else we've got on here? PJ, Tara, and Helen. I think I said a big hello to you before. And Denise and Betty. Have an amazing Christmas, guys. Loads and loads of love to you. And of course, as always, if this has been helpful for you, please like, love, or share it with others. Have a Merry Christmas, guys, and all the best for 2020. I'll catch you in the new year. Bye for now.